Welcome to today's video, and Zone 4 is open. Yes, level 5 passes are opening all across the board, and we've been covering all the PvP from all the servers, but today we're going to be covering, obviously, my server with GG fighting against everyone in the server for the race to the dragon. So let's just break down the beginning and showcase some of the fighting that entailed at the beginning of the war. Hello, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos, and this is going to be basically a mammoth week or weeks of PvP footage covered all around the globe. So if you're in one of the servers, don't worry, we're probably going to have you coming up soon. So today, like I said, we're covering the passes, and you're probably wondering why we're talking about passes, because to be honest, I don't really do many videos on the pass stuff. We've done pass guides in the past, and obviously the very basic information guides, right? But the more important thing we need to talk about when it comes to passes is obviously the ability to build. So the whole thing with a pass race and why it's important is because of when you look at who is fighting for the control of the center. Because whoever can destroy, as you can see, the pass first in right does have the ability to drop their flag first and allow them to build closer to the center quicker. And this is always down to a couple of things, and one of them, which we don't really talk about, is your flag durability. And this is kind of a bit of a weird one, and basically what this means is if you have your alliance tech leveled up, so your structures are higher leveled or better, basically, what it means is when you're building flags, they actually take longer because they have more durability compared to a basic or level 1 flag. So what a lot of alliances do is actually keep the flags lower level, and it allows them to build quicker because obviously they don't need to make a higher HP bar, for example, on the flags. It's a nice little tip there. So this is basically the opening fight, and this is the opening gambit. We just wanted to showcase this because you got to imagine on every server this is what was going down. So everyone was racing to basically put their flag down, and what we can see is GG was the first ones to win, defeat the pass, and already get their flag down immediately into the new zone, allowing them to build and then move forward. So let's just showcase how the beginning little opening fight starts and then how it expands into the later bigger wars. So for a little bit of context, where is this first fight going to be located? And it's actually going to be located right here in the middle of our screen in game, right? And this is because, again, both passes have been taken and they're building forward. And as you can see, the flags would be aiming going straight up. However, you can still obviously cause a fight because there is this little mountain pass here. And this is obviously creating a divide. However, with Call of Dragons PvP, you know the best of the best, it has flying. And because it has flying units, that is what, as you can imagine, occurs here. So the initial fights become GG and TA basically kind of poking each other just at the beginning with a little bit of flying troops, right? And we do get, while this is going on, a little kind of secret snipey team by EXXL and Sky that are doing the same thing. So they've got the same or more flying troops that are gathering up, and they're going to move basically from their pass and fly over to help the TA guys in this opening fight, which I think, again, just kind of showcases some really good alliance work and allyship, showcasing like, this is our plan, you've got your plan, come and help us, and then we'll fulfill the task together, right? And we get to see this obviously as we move forward in time. So if we go here now, we can now see the EXXL guys with Sky all punching together, basically trying to help TA however they can. And I think this is great, right? And if we pause it here, we're going to be able to obviously use the great feature that you guys love, which is live draw. So if we pause it, what we can do is use obviously live draw now to showcase you some really powerful obviously positioning, because that's the one thing you guys love on here, right? You love the PvP breakdowns, you love how we obviously try and showcase how you can obviously improve in the game. So when we're looking at this little stretch of, you know, water, if you want to say that, we have basically this main separation, right? So we have the main separation that's all located here. And as you guys know, only flying units or cavalry with a blink ability are going to be able to get across from here and take advantage of those, you know, terrain artifacts. And what you can see here is a really good example, honestly, of a GG murder ball and their flying units fending off this massive attack from the EXXL guys. And what we're going to basically see is this murder ball, when we press play now, work together to start focusing. And we're going to play a little game that I started to play on live stream, which is the miss positioning. And this basically means anyone out of position, you're going to instantly see these guys punish, right? And we've got already these guys on this little outer skirt, so you're going to see these guys get targeted really quickly here, and they're getting melted. And once these guys are getting melted, they'll now target the next person out of position. And that is a really good way they target and basically work together here with their flying units to achieve the goal, right? And by doing this, now look at that. The difference is now they've pushed over the river and they defended the flag that they're building, and more importantly, they've defended the builders. So it's really cool that you can see, obviously, now the offense strategy of the EXL and Sky trying to help the TA guys from all poking from different directions, which is really cool to see, right? And it's really cool to see flying units being used in their full capability. And like I've made a video on, this is definitely the flying meta. If you're a flying mage, it's probably your meta even better. Just because the maps are kind of tight, there's loads of rivers, there's loads of crevices, and basically there's so many points of where you have to cross a bridge. So being a flying unit, as you can see, you can take advantage of that and honestly become a very nasty, harassing team, which is very scary to deal with, because if you're not prepared, these guys will run rampant and basically pick you apart one by one and clear you out. So I thought this was a really good little section of obviously PvP coverage that we've had so far with the EXL guys and Sky fighting at GG83, and obviously the TA boys all fighting together, all here in this one zone against one alliance. Because honestly, this is going to be one big long PvP series we're going to cover, because honestly there's so much footage that we're going to go over. So just remember, this is the initial little fights, right? This is just a little bit of skirmishes that were happening after the passes, right? So let's move on to the very first actual big fight that occurs after this major little poke. And here we are, and basically it's pretty simple. Just above the passes there is obviously one bridge that connects everyone, like I said earlier, that you need to cross in order to get over. And you can see the flag being built there, and we can just showcase just the surroundings where that was the original battle zone, but now the battle zone's moved up here. And you can see GG having a massive murder ball here, which I just find absolutely insane for obvious reasons, right? Because with this, what we're going to be able to do is, again, showcase you guys how these guys are working together. So if we just pause the footage here, we can see some nice murder balls and how this is working out. So we've got GG above us here, and on the other side, you know, kind of off camera, is the TA murder ball. And the bridge obviously represents the dead zone. So if you are one of those players that are playing in this dead zone here, if you walk in like this infantry player has, you're gonna get targeted. And at the moment, anyone in here is gonna get maximum area of effect damage done to him. What does that mean? It basically means anyone of these units who might have walked into here is basically gonna get targeted, and then when they instantly try to walk back, you're gonna deal massive area of effect damage. So how do you get through this? It's pretty simple. You need to obviously poke your guys out from your range. So either side needs to try and poke their range, and once they've got basically the number advantage, they realistically need to blitz across the bridge. So what we're going to do is press play and obviously showcase what happens, because we're going to see now GG doing that. So GG have started to see that they have the number advantage, and the lines are staying there. So you can see there the little push, you know, even if it was only half a match over the line, you're going to start seeing that become a full match over the line, 2 matches over the line, and the closer and closer they're going to get to basically at the entrance of this bridge, and you're going to see him in one movement push straight across the bridge, push the TA guys back, and then more importantly, get off the bridge. Because again, the longer you are on the bridge, it means you are basically allowing TA here to give you maximum area of effect damage. And we don't want that, right? We don't want that. Anyone playing in this area right now, you do not want to get targeted, because now we can see a new line where TA has backed up, and now we've got the front line of GG pushing forward. And you can see the murder ball coming across the bridge inch by inch, basically every 10 seconds almost. And now this is where it's scary, because if we pause it again and we look and assess the situation, TA in theory have the upper hand. Why? Because they're beautifully positioned on the outside of the bridge, and what they can do if they really wanted to is spread their troops as far apart as they can, and by doing that it's going to allow you to basically spread out and, as you can imagine, lose less troops from the area of effect damage from the massive amount of mages coming. But what it allows you to do as well is the GG guys. If we look where the GG guys, they are all inside this little bridge. So look how tight this box is. So if you have your murder ball here on the TA side, right, you're going to be able to now use your mage marchers effectively, target anyone on the yellow bar here that looks to be a T4 player or someone that you might not take massive damage from, right? And then you're going to get the 5, 3, 4, whoever times on the area of effect damage. You're going to be hitting everyone for the maximum value as possible. So for, as you can see, GG, they need to get out of this. This is their big get out of card. They need to push through this as fast as possible, because if they don't, it's going to maximize, basically, as I said, the damage done. And we can see the flying units now here doing their little jobs. They're trying to poke units and trying to get in and force this TA line to look at them and obviously reassess their line. And you can see it's happening, right? You can see this line now from TA being pushed further and further back, and GG are getting across the bridge. So now we've got these flying units causing harassment over, obviously, the terrain, using the terrain advantage to cause havoc. And this is what we was talking about, where flying units are really powerful in this meta. And we've drawn the box again just on the live replay here, and you can see now those marchers going across that red line and almost getting across that bridge here. And this is what we were saying, this box is the no man's zone, right? If you are in this, and there's so many names in this, now you can see what we were talking about visually. If you are a mage player and you've got a Lilia, Valen, a Valen Waldir, whatever you're running right now, you are having a wet dream with this. Look at the amount of bodies you're going to get free area of effect damage on, and that is the most crucial thing, right? So I hope that's basically been plastered in your heads. I hope you guys have learned from today's video what the main aspects are: flying units and getting out of area of effect damage scenarios. So here is just coming up to the finishing area, if you want to say, of this fight. We can see now TA pushing even further back, and they are losing this fight here in the initial push. GG clearly already had more numbers than TA did in this fight, and you can see that they're using that number advantage cleverly, and now they're across the bridge. And this is where I think for the first fight was a really great fight on both sides. You could see from the early detailing of what TA needed to do, they were doing it. You could see how they were taking advantage of the flying units, they were doing it, they were taking advantage of their allies. It was really thought out plan from the get-go on this video. So I hope you guys have appreciated the offense strategy TA is kind of doing right here, while GG, obviously knowing they're on the back foot, having to be 1v4 in this whole zone 4 area, still taking advantage of the area, knowing they have the numbers advantage. They need to push over that bridge to make sure they do not get swarmed down from area of effect damage. And just like that, that was the basically opening gambit of obviously the war. There's so much more war to cover. Don't worry, don't think that is just it. There's so much more, and if you want more PvP coverage and you want to know how this story ends with GG versus TA, Sky, and EXG and EXXL, don't worry, we've got it all covered. We're going to be bringing you it down part series by, part by part, so you all understand what is going on, why you can see in the background here all of the building that's been going on from the other alliances. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Smash a like, comment, and subscribe. This is, again, the first of many PvP videos on their way, on top of many guides that we can cover during, obviously, maybe new updates, new patch notes, and anything we find out with maybe new hero builds in the future. So if you want all that juicy goodness, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, show some love, put a comment down below. And if you want to join our socials, check the description out. There's a bunch of links there, and I hope to see you in the next video. So until then, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.